So alright, welcome to the channel. TwinStick Garage, another episode today. Got another frosty Saturday morning and we'll get going on the old girl. So today we got some odds and ends. One of which is will be this. So we're gonna detail the motor. One of the viewers gave me a good tip and he said use tin foil around the hoses. So we'll give that a try and then paint the motor up. Got some other odds and ends, went and visited the previous owner of this truck. And he had some extra goodies laying around that he wanted to sell me, so I got some Peterbilt deals. I also got the front fender steps. Now if you know your trucks, you'll know that's off a 379, not a 359. However, I think they're still going to work. I just need to notch out a little corner and they should still fit in there, and then finish off the front fenders. And then the big project for today, or the fun project for today, will be these. So he also had these laying around that he picked up at auction and convinced me I needed to have them. And he's not wrong. I think they'll look really nice on the truck. So these are 6-inch, so they're not oversized, too oversized. I think they'll give a nice sound. They're a little taller. They're a couple feet taller than the existing stacks, so hopefully I can still get it in the garage. And the existing pipes I got on here, the homemade straight pipes I made, don't worry, they're going to go to a good home. I figure what we'll do with those is we'll probably put those on the next truck, on the next project truck. So with that, we'll get the truck plugged in. We'll get her warmed up, start it up, and roll her into the garage and see how far we get today. Fired right up. This little cat sure runs. He likes being plugged in, that's for sure. Still can't get over how well this old girl runs. 40-year-old truck starts better than my 2015 F350. Amazing. Previous owner Sean, he had some chrome caps that I snapped on there. I think those look pretty good. And then up here at the front, I put the center cap and the nut covers. So I think I don't have quite enough covers for all the bolts on the back, or the lug nuts on the back. So we'll get that, because I think that looks pretty sharp when you cover up all the old ugly bolts. Oh, this freeze thaw crap that's going on. So we got a ton of snow last weekend, and then it was I don't know, 7 above, so it all melted and then it froze overnight. So it was icy as hell, but it was a good test for the power divider. It works. I threw down some chains to try and get me some traction because I was stuck where I was, but what a pain. Good test for the power divider, like I say though. So I'm into the garage now, at least halfway, and we can go ahead and get started on some work. So I just took the intake pipes off, and we'll finish painting those up and hang those, and we'll try and finish up painting the firewall, and then mask everything off and then paint the motor. So it looks like this valve cover, I can't tell if all the paint's gone or it's actually the white color. So the original cats, these old A blocks, were originally painted white. If you know your trucks and you know your old cat engines. And I suppose if I was going to do a proper restoration, I should paint it white, but I just like the cat yellow too much, so that's what we're going to do with it. Yeah, I gotta say that's a heck of an idea, using tin foil. It's hard to do one-handed here, but you get the idea. I mean, you just wrap it around the hose, and it's perfectly covered, and it stays where you want it. And then you just do your painting and then throw it away. So, good tip. Thanks to the guy that mentioned that. Okay, so I'm laying down the black on the accent parts that I don't want cat yellow, and we'll let these dry, and then I'll have to try and do my best job of masking those all off, and then we'll start laying down the cat yellow, making it pretty. All right, Don't want to do that again. So when I went and bought those couple cans of cat yellow, I thought, oh, I'll paint the motor. And it shouldn't be too much work, but this has been a ton of work, just a time eater. But as you can see, I found a good use for my wife's recycling bags. All right, so we'll see if we can put down some yellow paint here and make this motor look a little newer. Well, that's one can of paint. I think it's looking pretty good. A lot better than when I found it in that field. So we'll let that tack up and then put on another coat. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. There, I'll start taking all this tin foil off and unwrap my Christmas present. So, yeah, the tin foil worked pretty good. I'm happy about that. Like I say, it was what I thought was going to be a 2-hour job turned into pretty much a whole day job. But I think it's worth it. It's going to look pretty sharp. We'll peel all this stuff off here and put the intake pipes back on. I painted those. And we'll hook all the hoses up that I took off, and yeah, then get on to the next thing of putting on those big exhaust pipes. You know, it always amazes me how a little bit of paint, in this case, 2 cans of cat yellow, $40 for that, and a bunch of semi-gloss black, and a few hours of my time, and can make the motor compartment look half decent again. I mean, it's not a perfect paint job, but it ain't bad. It sure looks a lot nicer than it did before. And I kind of like the fact that I took the time to have some of the components black instead of just spraying everything yellow. It's pretty sharp. Okay, on to the fun part. Let's put these new pipes on the truck. So I was just doing some quick measurements to make sure that I'll be able to actually get the truck out of the garage when I put them on there, and I think they're going to fit. And there is a little flexibility because I can adjust where the top mount sits on the pipe. So we'll get these unbolted and throw the new ones on. dent them. So just seeing what else needs to be done. Obviously the bracket here is too high for the cab mount. So the guy I bought these off of, he said there was some rust and corrosion on the pipe. So he tried to cover it up so it looked, you know, cosmetically better with these stainless bands. But what I might have to do is take them off and obviously lower the ring down so it lines up a little better. What I'm also wondering is if I can actually adjust the pipe, because right now they're kind of pointed straight back, and I kind of wanted to have them pointed straight out if I can. So we'll see if I can make that happen. Okay, getting close. So the dream of turning the pipe out just isn't going to happen. These pipes have been used before, and just the heat and corrosion has welded these together, so I'm not going to be able to twist them out. But that's okay. I got the bracket mounted there. I just need to finish bolting the top one up and then put those bands back on to cover up the ugly. But I think that's going to look pretty sharp. You can see the before and after. Yeah, I like that. There you go. One down, one to go. I won't bore you with installing the other side because it's pretty much the same as I did on this side. So we'll get that thrown on there and then we'll spark them up, see how they sound. So as usual, second one always goes on easier than the first. I don't know if it's because you're more practiced or know what to do, or I just get lucky. But yeah, that went on pretty painlessly. So I measured them out. It appears I got a few inches of clearance. So we'll start it up for the first time, see what it sounds like, and try and back it out without catching the garage door. Now we can take down power lines with the exhaust stacks. What do you think? I like that a lot. Doesn't seem to be leaking anywhere. Let's see what she looks like from the back. That's pretty sweet. There you go. Each week she gets prettier and louder, little by little.